Hi and welcome back to the Postmodern family. Don't forget, if you like what you've seen, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the dinner that I planned for our 7-year wedding anniversary. 7 years is, I guess in today's days, a long time, so I tried to do something kind of nice, surprise. So, the usual pattern for our anniversary dinners is I do all the planning and she just comes along for the ride. So in this instance, we went to a restaurant that's right on the water and had a table that was right on a deck that was right on the water. And there was champagne ready for us, and she had crab, and I had a steak. It's quality.
Can we eat now?
Okay. For none of the anniversary meals that we've had before had I hired any music. I decided for the 7-year I would hire some music. We do have friends that are part of a bagpipe band. So I hired a bagpipe player and he played Amazing Grace and a few other hymns, and it was really nice. To be honest, I just ran out of time and I had to get something done, so I hired a bagpipe player. But it turned out really nice. The meal was nice, the ambiance was nice, and I thought I pulled it off, to be honest, yeah, so.
I was not expecting the bagpipes, which is really funny that when we got there, I heard some bagpipes in the background, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, we've got some nice background music here. And he asked, do you like it? And I said, yeah, it sounds nice. And then later on, he comes down and plays for us. People were looking at us. I bet they were thinking, who are these Americans getting a Scottish bagpipe player to play for them?
We're here on our 7th anniversary dinner. We just had bagpipes play for us. The whole restaurant was enraptured by it.
I think people think it's weird that we hired a bagpiper. Is that what they're called? A
Yes.
bagpipe player?
Yes.
But we had some really great comment afterwards from someone who just said, congratulations on your anniversary, and just to tell you, it was a great experience, and I videoed some of the playing, and it just made the evening for them even nicer. So
yeah. So it's quite unorthodox for British people to come up and actually talk to you that are strangers and say something nice out of the blue. So that was really lovely.
Felipe asked me if I had heard of this thing called the 7-year itch, which I didn't know, so he told me to Google it. It turns out that when you get into a relationship 7 years in, people typically get unhappy with their relationship. That's what they say. And then they look for attention elsewhere.
Yeah, I had never heard of it until people at work were mentioning it, actually.
So the signs of approaching a 7-year itch, I guess, are if you feel like you're frustrated or something is being irritating towards you, I guess they say, in your partner.
It seems to all revolve around being annoyed or not satisfied with what you're getting out of the relationship.
Yeah, so that's just totally the wrong approach to marriage, people. If you haven't figured it out, yeah, I'm sure we've said it a million times.
Yes.
Marriage is not about how the other person is going to serve you and what you're going to get out of it. And so I think because we don't have that mindset,
Preach.
We just don't, we don't think this is going to end. Like there's some impending doom.
As JFK said, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. Likewise, it's not what your marriage or your spouse can do for you, it's about what you can do for your spouse.
We had no idea what the 7-year itch was. We're not gonna get it.
No.
And we're really happy.
Yeah.
There are always times where there's conflict or I feel annoyed or disappointed. The reality is I have to change my mindset. Yeah, I have to grow up, because I think that's a childish kind of reaction to life. Gratefulness is lacking when people start thinking of what they're missing out on. And if you just remind yourself what you're grateful for, you're not going to get that way about, picky and disappointed. And that's the truth. Everybody has something to be grateful for. And we can always change our mindset to become more positive in our outlook on life.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is it's about fostering an attitude of thankfulness. The antidote to the 7-year itch is having a spirit of thankfulness.
That's right. So we're looking forward to the next, many, many anniversaries. And I don't want him to make a big deal out of like the 8th and the 9th. But I think the 10th year anniversary, I would like to go on a cruise or something. Just putting this out there for you guys to keep him accountable. And then we are hoping to do a rededication at 20 years.
A baby rededication.
No, a rededication of our vows.
Oh, right. Yeah.
In the church, and I get to wear a wedding dress and everything again.
Does that mean I get to have a bachelor party?
No. Oh my gosh. You know what? Felipe's bachelor party was him, 2 of his buddies, and where did they go? They went to see the history of America.
We went to Williamsburg, Virginia, one of the oldest colonial cities in America.
Yeah, and all I see, they shared pictures of them, in the reenactments and in the courtrooms and taking photos with the actors. And I'm like, what an interesting bachelor party. Yes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of our footage of our 7-year anniversary, and hope that you guys are having successes in marriage and are able to celebrate it with joy. We'd love to hear what you think about the 7-year itch, and hopefully we can be an encouragement to you. Bye!